Okay, so the story of crypto recently. So we're going to do something a little unusual and we're going to review. All right. So Sushi Swap comes out. Everyone everyone gets upset. Somebody talks about capital gains, altcoins go down. What do big players do? Okay? Because it happens so fast. What do people do? They short Bitcoin. They short something, hoping that that something will go down and make up for their altcoin losses. Okay? That was probably about here. Then what did Bitcoin do? Well, it went up $1,000. So the things that they were owning went down and the things that they were shorting went up. This is called P&L destruction. Okay. Mm-hmm. The same thing happened in Ether. They tried to sell Ether, and I don't know if you remember, but Ether had this huge pop to 390. Okay. That was everybody getting stopped out of their Ether shorts. Okay. Then after that, what happens? People are left unhedged. They don't have any protection. They're sitting here with altcoins, okay, and they're hoping that they're going to stop going lower, that the bulls are going to come in and take charge. So Friday and early this morning, I took a look at this market and I said, you know what? If you look at things like, say, Kava, okay, this thing has been pretty beat up. Okay, this is Ren. Okay, there's like a big support down here. This looks pretty beat up. And I was wondering if this might be an opportunity for bulls to take charge. Okay, and at 5 a.m. this morning, I'm like, hey, let's take a shot. Let's jump in the pool. Okay, by 12 noon, I looked up. We were in the pool and there was a toaster inbound and the whole market was down 10%. Okay. And I'm like, what happened? I said, well, people just suddenly gave up right as Sunday morning talk shows about politics were on. Mm-hmm. And I know readers are out there going, dude, it's crypto. It's not the normie world. We don't want to talk about this. I know. I don't either. But this thing with the Supreme Court justice is important. And here's why. Crypto really doesn't care, or it might, whether it's the right or the left that wins. Okay. The problem with this thing with the Supreme Court justice is if the election is contested and there's 8 members on the court instead of 9, okay, you may not know who the president of the United States is. You may not know who won the election. And over the weekend, you know, people in markets were like, wow, this is not good. And people are really revved up. Like the political organization on the left, which is where this justice, you know, was leaning, they raised $50 million over the weekend. Like if you thought Americans were all fired up and wound up before, it seems worse now. So this may be creating a situation where someone goes, okay, I loved altcoins. They went down. I lost money. I tried to protect myself. Those hedges went up. I lost money. Now you're telling me there's this weird thing happening. Oh my God, I'm selling. Now, I'm not saying that's the right move, but I just want to give everybody, because sometimes it's good for an analyst to give you the narrative, right? So what we're watching right now on our screen is people giving up on altcoins, okay? Now, that could end as soon as I stop talking. That could end in 2 weeks, right? Because there's, you know, we're going to try some new things on the show, like what actually is the price target, okay? Well, I don't have one right now for the whole market, because we have to see what's going to happen with equities. We have to see if they care. All right. The one thing I can tell you is crypto traders, we're now at a point where you really want to start paying attention to 2 things. How can I build a portfolio? Because one thing that happened this week is coins were all over the place, right? Oracles would be down, DeFi would be up, and then Oracles would go up, and then DeFi would crash, right? It was crazy. So you don't want to just hold or trade one coin. You want to start thinking about a group of coins and, of course, Token Metrics. You join Token Metrics, you hit the indices button, and you could spend all day there if you wanted to. You also want to be looking for where people might give up and say, wow, if Chainlink goes to 7, because we do have a price prediction model talking about Chainlink at 8 or 7, okay, which was brought to my attention because I was thinking 10 might hold. Okay. You want to start thinking about where you want to buy the best stuff. You don't have to be in a hurry, but you want to know the levels. So that's the story of crypto up until 6:45 Washington, D.C. time.
Okay, so question for you, Bill. So, I mean, for our audience who are probably wondering, why do we pay so much attention to what's happening with the U.S. election? Right? Because the U.S. election will affect equities and the stock market. And for the last, pretty much since the pandemic, what happens with the stock market has been affecting Bitcoin. And what happens with Bitcoin has been affecting altcoins, right? And we're pretty much an altcoin heavy show, right? So that's why we're paying very close attention to equities. And as a result, if Wall Street is paying very close attention to the US election, we have to as well, right? So what Bill mentioned in terms of, in the US, we have 9 judges, right? Or we had 9 judges, and it's an odd number. So that way, if there's any difference, there's basically a tiebreaker, essentially, right? But now we have even amounts with 8 judges, meaning that there'll be no tiebreaker, and we could be in possible chaos, as Bill mentioned, or as people mentioned, if there's any questioning of the validity of the election results, right? Now, Bill, you also mentioned that Goldman Sachs also posted some comments in terms of their stance with the upcoming election. Could you maybe kind of share that?
Right. So one of the big blogs reported that Goldman is saying that, Joe Biden's comments or Joe Biden may not be friendly for equities or the dollar. Okay. Now, obviously, they have a lot of smart people working there. I worked there for 12 years, but my kind of response to that is, they're a little late with those comments because he's already made comments about taxation for corporations and unionizing workforces. For crypto fans, that type of stuff, I'm not going to make you read an economics book, but crypto fans want things that are friendly towards innovation and speculation, right? Higher taxes, higher capital gains taxes, worry in legacy capital markets. It can spill over into crypto because remember, crypto isn't just me, you, our customers, and the individual crypto family. It's also big players, right? There's big players in crypto. That's the difference between crypto now and say crypto in 2016, all right, and even 2017. So we pay attention to the election because we want to know, hey, is the environment favorable to speculating, trading, and investing in new things? Okay. And for markets, for your education, okay, uncertainty is like poison, right? Like if we know it's good or we know it's bad, then the market can react accordingly. Sometimes markets can go up when we know it's bad because we know. Mm-hmm. Now, when you start interjecting, I don't know, otherwise known as IDKFS, I don't know for sure. Too much IDKFS is like too much chips and dip at the football party. It can just leave you feeling not so good. All right. Mm-hmm. So that's why we follow it. And that's why the market may be trading the way it is. Because I'm sure altcoin traders are looking at their screen and going, what is this? Yearn Finance down 11%, Uniswap falling out of bed. There's got to be a broader reason.
All right. Thank you, Bill. And to our crypto family, tell us what you think down in the comments below. Definitely want to have you kind of participate in the discussion.